Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co.
Are we live? All right, good morning and welcome in here on this beautiful Thursday morning as we are live here from our Southern Regional Medical Center studios right in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we appreciate each and every one of you for hopping in the chat this morning, hanging out with us as we continue the discussion in what has been quite the week. It's been definitely has not been short of entertainment. That's for sure. We've had entertainment on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What will today hold, Lloyd, Courtney?
I see you on the chat now. There should be a lot more of you. There should be a lot more.
It is, look, it's an entertaining time to be an LSU football fan, that's for sure.
Buttoned up.
Yeah, as if you saw the thumbnail for today's show in big, bold, yellow letters.
Big, beautiful letters.
Big, bold, beautiful yellow letters. It said, alignment, and wow, LSU couldn't be more aligned right now.
Never seen something straighter.
We will we'll get into that discussion as we continue on this morning. We also will talk to Michael Cauble this morning. He will not join us live, but he joined us live yesterday, and we recorded it. We'll run that interview for you guys as Cauble came and hung out with us, talked a little bit about the Kelly tenure, the Frank Wilson era for this next month, as well as what's ahead when it comes to the LSU football coaching search. If you missed it yesterday, LSU interim head football coach Frank Wilson
was a part. Jeff Landry.
No, not yet. Was a part of the SEC coaches teleconference, and just a couple of quotes from that. Frank said that the open week could not have come at a better time in the midst of the transition. They conducted the first practice yesterday, Tuesday, which was a spirited one, he said. He's also updated on Whit Week, said Whit didn't practice on Tuesday. He was evaluated on Tuesday. There was positive news, and Frank is optimistic that Whit will be able to play against Bama. He had a productive day from a rehabilitation standpoint. And there's his big brother, West Weeks, as
Blake Weeks.
Blake Baker showing off the Halloween costume. And it looks great. He looks great.
He could play.
He looks like he
used to play.
Still
got the cleats.
Might as well suit him up.
Well, this is how you know the bad man's gone. You can have fun again. Oh, no.
I can dress up?
Yeah.
Oh, finally.
I mean,
finally.
Brian could, but why? It's Halloween, coach. Oh.
What are we doing?
Well, you've been playing dress up for 4 years.
How about you take off that you take off that mask?
Scooby-Doo him.
If it wasn't for these meddling kids. Frank Wilson also said, specifically pointed out that they would like to continue to develop offensive lineman Carius Kern and Harlem Berries. He's highlighted some of the younger players multiple times over the last handful of days. He talked about the open date, said that they're going to self-scout, look at what they have done and have not done well, and they're going to try to not be predictable. And Frank Wilson also said, the depth chart is etched in sand. You can make a move for playing time even within the season. We'll continue to foster that. But the biggest quote that came out from that yesterday was Frank Wilson talking about the quarterback position. And he said, Garrett is our starting quarterback. He is the best for our offense. Michael adds value to our offense with his skill set and can help our team win. So ultimately, they said that Frank said that Michael Van Buren, they're going to cater to Nuss's strengths, ask him to do the things he's very proficient in, and not do more than what he needs to do. We owe it to put him in that position. And then he continued on to say that they would use Van Buren in ways that help the offense. And Lloyd, I want to get your thoughts on that answer. Obviously, we were looking to see where this would go from a quarterback standpoint, and Frank makes the announcement. It is Nussmeier, but doesn't completely shut down the Van Buren conversation and essentially saying what's been called upon a good bit this year where fans have wanted to use Van Buren maybe in red zone packages or different spots, maybe third down, something like that, might be used in the coming weeks of the LSU football season.
Well, I mean, everything's on the table, right? And at the point of doing all this, like, you wanted to change some things up, and
right.
To a degree, you do owe it to Nuss just to see what it looks like without being absolutely hamstrung by your OC, co-OC, co-OC, to just be able to see what it looks like without the dog and pony show that was going on, whether it be Joe Sloan basically having to look over his shoulder or look over somebody else's shoulder because he's above him when he's calling plays, and then only to get chastised after the play call, whatever the coach heard the play call. It also had the ability to veto the play call, and it became, why are we doing that? You think, well, you could have stopped this before it happened.
Right.
But that's here nor there, as it is now Alex Atkins calling the plays, Tim Rattay is the quarterback's coach. And I think that you do, like, just to see what it looks like. I think when you say everything's on, like I say, everything's on the table and this is etched in sand, I think that's a part of it. You have a bye week.
Right.
A lot has gone on in this bye week.
Yes.
A lot not related to the football performance on the field. as much as just the shuffling of the deck when it comes to personnel and the program in general.
Right.
Like, that's what the focus of this week has been from the outside looking in. I'm sure they go to practice and do all the things, but Frank Wilson has taken on more responsibility, and that is saying something, as his cup runneth over before this.
Right.
And now he has to be the head coach. So I don't know if there will be wholesale changes. We'll get more into that next week, I would imagine, when actually, like, let's get back to football.
Right.
We'll be able to get back to football. But I think it's going to remain the status quo, and it gets harder and harder to look at that after you keep seeing Van Buren when he comes in and get things happen.
Great. Yeah, he looks great. Yeah, no, and I think that's the interesting part, because I agree with you. I am almost excited to see what Garrett Nussmeier looks like when he's removed from the soap opera.
He was mentally cooked.
Because, like we've said since, week 3?
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever's going on in that mix of those three is a problem. And it's not helping LSU football. And
he was like a kid caught in a divorce, like, oh, no, it's my day. No, it's my day. And it's like, I just want to play football.
Right.
Like, I want to go outside.
And I think it'll be interesting to see how much of that mess truly weighed on him and his ability to play.
It's a clean sheet.
And I think that's what you'll see against – and that's also where the conversation comes in on Van Buren of it could also still be a Nussmeier issue. And, like, that card is still at play where even with Sloan and Kelly removed and that pressure and dynamic being solved, he still could not play that well. And then that's when you could turn the conversation to, well, maybe we'll give the next guy a shot. And so it keeps both doors open, but I am for the decision to give Garrett Nussmeier the nod. It's his job. It's been his job since he decided he was coming back last offseason. And I am very interested to see what he looks like without that dynamic around him, because I can't even imagine the black cloud over his head and the pressure on his shoulders when all of those things are going on from just a program standpoint with your OC and your head coach and just that mess. I mean, you saw the way that Nussmeier acted on the sideline with Kelly against Texas A&M. I think Cauble got a clip of that, some video of Nussmeier, like maybe throwing his helmet off, not really wanting to hear what Kelly had to say. And most of you saw it on the TV copy as well, when Kelly pulls Nuss out of the game to put Van Buren in. Nuss didn't want to hear a thing that Kelly had to say. And I get it because you're a competitor, but also it also shines some more light on that messy situation that was had between those three guys. So I'm all for the opportunity to see what Garrett Nussmeier looks like with that removed. And if it doesn't work and he still the offense still is rough with him at the helm and you still can't put things together, then maybe you give Van Buren the look. On top of that, the positive is you might see Van Buren used in some ways that are going to be overall positive for LSU football, whether that's third down opportunities, red zone opportunities. I'm excited to see the creativity they have. And I'm just really ultimately excited to get back to talking about football on the field, like to talk about a game.
Because there was a time and point in this season, and even in the last calendar week, when I didn't want to.
Right.
And so I am excited to see the product on the field. I'm excited to see this team, because I think we're all in like lockstep on the fact that this team is going to look a little bit different just in terms of energy and attitude. That's the one thing that you were hoping to. It always happens with the interim, right?
Happens every time.
And it feels like this case in particular, it is a breath of fresh air that is wafted through LSU football ops, where it's just like the energy in the building just has to be different, instead of just a guy that clearly didn't have the most amicable relationship with the players. It was, and then it became indifference.
Right.
Like, I don't even care if he talks to me. Like, you see it with Nuss, who's like, I don't care what you have to say, dog. Like, we good. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me feel like I'm being coached at any point. So all of that being gone, and that's why I do think that you have Nuss start the game, and he does, I guess, I wouldn't say he's earned that opportunity this year, right? Like, I don't think his play has been good enough to where it shouldn't be a conversation. But also I'm excited to see, because Frank Wilson is going to do the thing that I think will make the LSU job look more attractive, despite what is your governor's best efforts to make it the. Brody Miller had the best tweet of all time to sum it up, where he said, he quote tweeted the video,
right,
and he said, "When you have a chance to make one of the best jobs in the country look like a situation nobody should go near, you just got to do it." And that's exactly what happened. But Frank Wilson has to, I guess, combat that in a way and play some of these younger guys, whether it be Harlem Berry, Trey'Dez Green, DJ Pickett, all of those guys that Spears, all of them
Kern.
Yes, that you want to see, and to show off your young talent to a prospective coach that goes, damn, if we can get, I know who I want to keep.
Right.
And Frank, as we've said, has only kept people on the roster. There has not been this mass exodus, and we can that's also etched in sand. You can see how this Alabama game plays out, and if it's 42-10 it looks like shit, then it's going to be, you're going to see some, I don't know if you'll see opt-outs. That's Frank Wilson's job, and he's done a good job of his entire life of keeping this thing together. It's us against everybody. And I would be shocked to see opt-outs and things of that nature when it becomes more adversity.
Right, and you made an interesting point at the beginning, because it is the opposite of where we were maybe a week ago, where you weren't looking forward to watching LSU play football. You weren't looking forward to the on-the-field product and all that came with it. And now, with how loud and maybe a bit messy it's gotten on the outside, and all of what the last 4 days have been like, I'm in the mindset now, in the standpoint of, I'm ready to just get back to the football field to see what LSU is going to put out on the field and what it's going to look like, because there is an excitement and an interest around it now with Frank at the helm, with Atkins as the play caller, where you've made the changes. And when change happens on that standpoint, you expect there to be a change on the field, and that's where the excitement is now. You're expecting some change on the football field, and hopefully positive change. And so that's my mindset right now, is I cannot wait for LSU to get back on the football field and to be able to sit back and just talk about football. Let's get back to football. Because, and also a point I like that you made is, as much as there's the conjecture and all of these things going on in the public eye from a program standpoint with this hire and the coaching vacancy, what you do on the football field still bears a lot of weight in that discussion. Whether that's the Frank Wilson discussion of seeing what this man can do when he doesn't have to bring his team to Dick's to get equipment, and he's not following up a hurricane and a pandemic, and he gets to go out there, coach, be a leader, and coach with that talent on that roster. You get to watch that, but also it's a sales pitch for whoever out there wants the job. Of one, you got Frank Wilson who you can keep on staff, which is what's best for LSU. And two, look at the roster you can come and try to re-recruit, keep here, and start with. Look at number 14, number 22, number 57, number 10, number 3, number 11. Go down the list of these young guys that are going to be out there, and whoever else that Frank is going to get in the mix, whether it's some of these freshman linebackers like Charles Ross and Jaden Breaker and Keelan Moses and the third week's brother, whether it's the older, Devon Keys, Tylen Singleton, or you get to see some of these Kalaj Cobbins off the edge. Whoever you get to see these young guys get mixed in, Jace Thomas at safety, CJ Jimcourt, that is also going to be part of the pitch to whoever gets the job, is what happens on the football field. And that's why I'm excited to get back to football and away from some of this mess that's happening in the public eye. Because yesterday was an interesting day for LSU, in a day where there was a press conference for the state's governor, which is ultimately, I think most people would view it as a positive press conference, where the reason the presser was being had was for a positive reason, most would view, where he's discussing the SNAP benefits and the state using their money during the government shutdown to help out the people that need it. So ultimately, going up to the microphone for what's a positive presser, like it, especially for him, like it's going to be viewed as something good that the governor and his people are doing. And so credit to him for that and the positive aspect on that front. But then down the line in the presser, a question is asked. And I don't think anyone should be surprised that the question was asked. The governor has been very vocal and has obviously been a part of the LSU coaching discussion and search. And so a question was asked by probably the one sports writer that was in the building, because why would sports writers be at this presser?
Government press conference?
Right. So the question was asked. No problem with the question. And the fact that it's answered, I also don't have a problem with. It was the way in which it was gone about, which begs the question of, is that good for the future of LSU football? Because that's where most people are at. I don't think anyone was surprised that there's conjecture around Scott Woodward's job. I don't think anyone is surprised that Scott Woodward may be fired or that Scott Woodward won't be making the next hire. I don't think anyone was surprised by that. And that's not ultimately what the problem is.
See, I think that's where we're too close to it. I think a lot of people nationally didn't know that this was kind of taking place in the way that it is. And to hard launch the essential, I mean, is it safe to say the firing of Scott Woodward?
I mean,
I mean, how else could, if you're
a step further than saying the firing of Scott Woodward, it is that, but it's also
the public castration.
That's what I was about to say. The public embarrassment. Like, not only was it handled in a way of saying that Scott is, basically can't do his job. It's, if he is fired, why would anyone else want to hire him? Because it's thrown out, $100 million.
Well, that on the base of it, people know about that.
Of course, but you're on a public standpoint to go out there and voice it, and in my opinion, it was a tad bit personal.
Absolutely, that's all it was. It was a personal attack with a man that loves a microphone, and also to stand up there and kind of misconstrue the facts about was it. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've seen conflicting reports about this, but is it not Ross Bjork that extended Jimbo Fisher?
That's what I've always been led to believe, was that he was he got a contract extension with Texas A&M in 2021, and obviously in 21. Scott Woodward was the LSU athletic director, and so that extension is what he got.
Because A&M, they had the best football season that nobody got to see, I guess.
Yeah, their COVID year
where they 8-1,
made the playoff, and
right. And so after that happens, Jimbo Fisher gets extended by. It could have been.
It was a 4-year contract extension, increasing his average annual salary to more than $9 million.
So I would imagine that Bjork has to. I mean, he doesn't even get talked about in any of this, but that would be on him.
Because Woodward made the hire.
Right, but he didn't make the extension. So that's where it just goes to show that this man that's up there barking into a microphone doesn't really have all of the facts, and he wants to go on to tell me to look into some of these agent Shaw. Like, I don't think this is not your arena, cuz.
And that's ultimately like where my concern stands. Is if we understand the timelines of all these things, there will be a president announced next week, which I think a lot of things are pointing to it being Wade Roos from McNeese as the president. It's taken quite a while for the president to be hired. It was during baseball season when Tate was let go.
Not let go, he left.
When Tate left.
Good on it. I wonder why that happened.
Right, yeah, And so now ultimately it's been this long to get the president. Well, then you have to start. If Woodward is fired, which it seems like he will be, you have to start the search into finding that athletic director. And so the word back when Kelly was hired, and I don't think it was wrong, was alignment. When Kelly was hired, that was the word you heard often, and I don't think that wasn't the case. I thought the alignment between Tate to Woodward to Kelly was very clean, and I don't think it was messy up until kind of the end, where Kelly had what he needed. He got $18 million. the alignment was there. Everyone was on the same page, besides Kelly when he stopped working very hard. And so, but right now I'm looking at LSU and I don't see that alignment. And there was a way, and I'm not a politician. I don't want to do a political show. I didn't go into this career because I wanted to end up on CNN or Fox News. I wanted to talk about LSU football.
I want to be on Alex Jones' podcast.
And so I don't want this to be this full political thing, but like there's a way to go up there and answer that question. When you're asked about it, you say, well, it's my job as the state's university doesn't have a president to step in and make sure I can help out however they need it. And we're going to focus on doing what's necessary to hire the best football coach for LSU. Boom, bang, done. Simple, easy.
No, nothing.
But instead, it's a
public execution
embarrassment of the athletic director, who is still hired, who still is the athletic director of the university. And just ultimately from a PR standpoint, where you say that about the AD, and then you go after agents and the college athletics in general, and just the way these things start to trickle down, you just look at it overall, and if you're a head football coach, you're looking at it and you're like,
what is going on?
What a mess. The alignment we talked about in 2022, 21, 22, you don't see that right now. You don't see any alignment. There's no president yet. I mean, it'll be hired next week. Ultimately, there's not really an athletic director, even though Scott Woodward is the AD. He just was publicly
slain,
where he's not going to get to make the hire because he's an idiot and he can't. And so you don't really have an athletic director, but that spot is filled, so you can't even really conduct an AD search. And then it's just at the worst time for these sorts of comments and things to come out. You are looking for a head coach. You talk about agents. You talk about head coaches' contracts. Talking about all of these things when that word alignment is so important right now in college football. Because you heard Nick Saban talk about it when he talked about Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. If you've got a place that's willing to give you what you need to be successful, why would you leave? And I thought LSU was in a standpoint from a PR place on Sunday and Monday and even into Tuesday where it was ultimately positive all in all. Where it was like LSU's committed to winning. And they have people that are willing to spend money to commit to winning. And so ultimately it looked pretty attractive for a bit. And then yesterday that took a turn where that the positivity around alignment or being able to get what you need was gone. And it's just the PR of it all. Like if you are an agent for one of these top coaches or you are a top coach, how do you look at this and say, that's where I want to be?
Before he opened his mouth, what was the national rhetoric around the LSU?
Best job in the country.
Best job in the country, bar none. It was, I mean, that's with Penn State open, Florida open. Like, those are premier programs that people, when they think about college football, those are two names that are pretty synonymous with the sport. LSU jumps atop that list, bar none. And that's one of the most attractive jobs in the country. Look how, first of all, how much they've been willing to put into the football program. The athletic director is somebody that has made a gigantic footprint in his hirings, and they're willing to spend whatever it takes to be able to go get their guy. And I don't think that would have changed, but now it obviously feels like it will. And then you have somebody go out there and say publicly that he doesn't. Take a look at some of those agents. He's talking about one person. That one person that represents probably 99.9% of the candidates you're looking at.
Every coach you could want.
And now you just made that negotiation that much harder because you took a public shot at somebody that is now has he monopolized sports agency? Is that his fault? That everybody would? Do you get mad at Scott Boras? Like, this is his job. It's not my fault I'm so good at it that people want to line up and have me represent them because that's what the gig is. Like, I understand it. And then he goes on to say, like, he doesn't know. I guess he probably watched with the captions on a bit of, like, Saturday Night Lights, where it was, you see Brian Kelly talking to his agent. Garrett Nussmeier is represented by the same agent, and that's part of it. They took a shot at him too. It's like these are power players in what you're actively trying to play into, and now you just took a shot across the bow at these people their only job is to represent coaches and get them the best deal possible. Like, your job is to be a public servant and get the best deal possible you can for the people of Louisiana, but yet you failed to do that as well. And then you go on to say, Scott won't make the hire. Who will make the hire? We're going to have a committee that is appointed by the Board of Supervisors, and then they talk to one of the Board of Supervisors after, in which he had a response to what Landry said, and shockingly, here's your answer. Talk about alignment.
Governor Landry announcing today in a press conference that the Board of Supervisors will be heading that up. Do you have any response, any comment at this time?
No, I didn't know that.
Governor Landry announcing today in a press conference that the Board of Supervisors will be heading that up. Do you have any response, any comment at this time?
No, I didn't know that.
Do you have any idea what the next steps might look like?
Next steps are we're going to go hire the best coach for Louisiana State University. I promise you. Go Tigers.
So, I mean, look, it is a very interesting situation, and Brandon in the chat, he says, let's see if I can find it. Where did it go? It was essentially,
you make the president hire.
Right. You make the president hire, then you fire Woodward, hire the new AD, then hire the new head coach. All hires made by one another. How more aligned can you get? No, look, in theory, on paper, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, and this is what we've talked about throughout the last week, is it goes from governor to Board of Supervisors to president to AD to head coach. That is the way it works. It's just right now it's taken you a handful of months to hire a president, which in turn, I mean, I don't know the timeline for what the AD situation will look like, but I'm not assuming it's going to be this snap hire you have it done. And if it is, credit to them. That if you can make that happen that fast, then there you go. And then ultimately you roll into a head football coach. It's just, from the outside looking in, without much context, it can look pretty messy looking at this current situation. And so my biggest thing is that there was a way that this could have been handled that wouldn't have caused all this stir. You discuss with Scott behind closed doors, however you feel about it. You tell him he's not making the hire. I think a lot of people around LSU, at least, probably expected that. And people anticipated that. And some people wanted that because of the PR standpoint of the $53 million buyout along with Jimbo's buyout. Like, people know about that, and they think it's not the best look. And it's not. And so, ultimately, because I don't want to dive too deep into politics, just from an LSU football standpoint, it's tough to be in this place where it seems like the hiring of the football coach is in a very politically charged position. And I think we can all agree that that's kind of what it's looking like right now, is that this coaching vacancy is happening in a place that's got a lot of politics all around it. And that, I don't think many look on it with a positive point of view. Like, you don't look upon this situation and say, I want to be a head coach at a place where it's so politically charged. I want my football to be football because I don't want to talk about politics. That's not me. That's my whatever. I want to focus on football. And so, right now, that's where my mindset is. I'm ready to get to next week, where once you get the president hired and you're focused on a football game you have on Saturday, that all of this will just simmer down. That's the hope. Is that once you get the president hired, you're taking the steps in the direction towards alignment, and you have a football game on Saturday where you can get on the field and perform, it'll change the narrative a little bit. That's where it's at right now, because the narrative on the social media and everywhere you can read about it is not overly positive about where the LSU football job sits right now, when just a handful of days ago it was the best job in the sport. And now it's viewed differently. And so next week, hopefully, gets us in the right direction towards some positivity, where you can get your president hired, take the steps towards the alignment that makes your job attractive, and then play a football game on Saturday against Alabama where you go out with the mentality we anticipate Frank Wilson to have these guys to play with, and they go out there, they play a competitive football game whether they win or lose. That also, in turn, makes your job makes the job attractive.
You know who would take the job, regardless?
Ed Orgeron?
I believe so.
And I'm being very specific on this. If someone specifically
What a
became
picture
the
they
head
found.
coach, would you be willing to be his assistant? And that someone is someone you've been close with and worked with, Lane Kiffin. Would you ever go back to be an assistant at LSU?
Yeah, I consider it. I love LSU. I still got my home in Baton Rouge. Yeah, I love when I coached with Coach Miles, being the defensive line coach. I love the Tigers, and I'm getting back to coaching for sure. I consider it, no doubt.
And I don't think anyone should be surprised by that answer. I mean, of course, the man loves LSU. Of course he would take the job. I don't think anyone should be surprised that Coach O is willing to take the LSU football job.
And not only the LSU job, but to get, we could finally, that says who wrote Game of Thrones.
I don't know.
That man, the big fat boy with the big beard that keeps promising the last book, the last chapter,
right.
like we're going to put a bow on this thing. It's been 15 years. He's been talking about it. The binder. This would be the last chapter of the book. It finally gets to come to fruition whenever you had Coach O promise the binder, and that was his pitch.
Right.
He went very similar to how I felt when Frank Wilson spoke. Whenever Coach O was on the podium as the new head coach of LSU, I was skeptical, and then I heard the man speak, and it was all everything that you want to hear about the LSU job. It was reignite passion. It was, I'm going to go hire the best coordinators in the country, and like I'm going to be
CEO, ultimate CEO.
Coach Ed O, CEO. And you're like, this could work. You already Dave Aranda was already there, or did you go hire Dave Aranda? I'm not sure. Regardless, he already had one of the two checked, and then you got bested by, if you talk about agents, Nick Saban, who said, do not let Lane Kiffin go to LSU. Go get him a job. And ultimately it did, ended up at Boca Raton.
Right.
But now, you fast forward, the roles have flipped in a sense of Ed Orgeron no longer being the head coach of LSU, but would come back as in some sort of defensive line. I don't know. You just hired a defensive line coach in some sort of capacity, but that's how badly he wants to be back into coaching. This will never happen. But it's funny to see the last chapter of this book almost be rewritten and be like, oh, that's interesting. If Lane Kiffin came to LSU, I don't know what they would say if he said, I would like to bring Ed Orgeron on in some capacity. As much bravado as we talk about Ed and his ego, I think he's just looking for a spot to get back into coaching and to get paid for doing so.
Once you get
Right.
the money back.
And because I don't think it would be fair. That's not fair to Kyle Williams, who came in here and has done a
Great job.
great job.
I've heard nothing but
Right, everybody loves him.
Right.
I don't think you look at the LSU football team and go, who the hell is the deep? Like, we've had that conversation before, and
Yeah,
it's not
many
that
times.
one. And you have Kevin Peoples also in the defensive line. I don't know where you would stick Ed O to be a part of this football staff, but you could certainly, if you have a staff of Frank Wilson, Lane Kiffin, Blake Baker, Corey Raymond, Ed Orgeron, Austin Thomas leading the front for getting players onto the LSU campus. I feel very confident they can do that.
No, I mean in a
Like you would Ed Orgeron recruiting coordinator,
right?
Like some people were born to hold a don a headset and make day-to-day decisions and be the face of a program.
Right.
Other people were meant to be in a 4-point stance in your living room and taking your shirt off. You could take your shirt off as recruiting coordinator. Hell, I encourage it.
No,
we'll figure out the cufflinks later.
Yeah, in a fairy tale land,
Right. Where candies and nuts are nothing but
it would be
big booty butts.
a beautiful, like you said, ending to the binder.
Right.
It would be like it
was the first page, but now it might be the last page.
Most people text me yesterday like, I mean, why can't they bring O back? I'm like, look.
Well, you talk like
It can't happen.
Sure. What?
Can't.
But where we are right now,
No, I mean,
I'm
look.
sure this guy loves Coach O. Like Landry would probably be would be smitten. But in a real world, like let's play this hypothetical. You'll have a new president. You'll clearly have a new athletic director.
Yep.
Like you could look at this new regime. And there's new members of the board of supervisors. Like there's an opening for this because it's a whole new regime. And if Lane Kiffin walks in and says, I want him, like you're not going to let this stop you from hiring Lane Kiffin if you get caught up on trying to. That would be the optics of that around Louisiana because don't get it twisted. He is still beloved.
He is.
He has skated
Right.
on what he did for the program after 2019 and 2020, 2021. He got away with it.
And I think the only possible way that could ever be possible, and it's still not likely, it could only happen with Lane.
Yes.
Nobody else that's hired would be secure enough in who they are as a coach or where they're at LSU to allow that. Because that's where it gets messy. There's a former head coach that everybody loves on your staff, and you lose a couple of games, and it's like, we get that guy there. Our coach is right there.
Yeah, best team of all time.
That's the last thing you want to. And so literally Lane would be the only
barrier
candidate that would be secure enough to be able to handle that.
And the only one that would want him.
And the only one that would be open to that even happening. But that being said, this is fully hypothetical because it just can't happen.
The same
because
reason.
Not only was he formerly a head coach, it's not like he went and took a job somewhere else. You fired him. And you fired him because he left the program in shambles.
He was throwing, which door do you want me to walk out of? And he was throwing Molotov cocktails out the window. Like the same way he came in is the same way he went out.
Right.
Just a blaze of glory.
A riot. And so...
buddy, I had my head out the window.
In our purple and gold imaginations, would it not be beautiful to have Lane Kiffin, Frank Wilson, Ed Orgeron, Blake Baker, Corey Raymond, and these guys all on the same staff? Oh my gosh. Of course it would be beautiful. It's not possible. There's no way.
They say in the chat
that Ed...
Arkansas did it. I mean, you can't have a more public embarrassment. Time heals all wounds.
Yeah, but was Petrino? No. That's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
Was Petrino loved by Arkansas the way Edo was loved by LSU?
Yes, because they've never been. I don't know if it's that to that extent because he's not Arkansas through and through.
Right, not family.
He's brother. Ed's more than family. He's family's family. That's, the bloodlines on the bayou can get twisted around a little bit. But because of what he did for Arkansas, he brought them as close as they've ever been to a national championship. Like that 2011 team, they were number 3 in the country when they came into Tiger Stadium.
Right.
Got rolled, but don't forget that they were. If it's not retired Matthew, they're in that football game. LSU could not get going at all. And then you had Les, and they were flicking each other off, and like it was bizarre.
It was fun.
It was, but there's a reason he was allowed back is because I guess I didn't. And he is actively.
Oh, he's gunning for the job.
He's gunning, and if they, that's why he's the one that's probably the most. Like I think Gage said it, like that was going to be his. His coup de grace. That was his. Yes.
Yeah.
And
well, do you think? And what I'll add, do you think that the fact that Petrino was on staff kind of turned the fire up a little bit on Pitt? Because I mean, Pittman's seat was hot regardless.
That was
But do you think
that was
Petrino being right there kind of?
well,
'Cause
I was surprised they brought Pittman back.
Right.
And I think part of why they did is because Petrino was on staff.
Right.
And instead of having an entire – I think if you played this game the way that it's starting to show how the politicking and all of this works, it was, well, bring him back and we'll see. And if it doesn't work out, the same thing with Ed Orgeron. Like, he's on staff and you see, like, well, maybe Ed or Mo.
Right.
He's right there. If this goes sour quickly, we have somebody that can step up and at least be interim coach. But with Petrino, who has the resume, has done it before, yes, I do think that there was the seat got hotter, and it didn't help that Petrino was there to stoke the flames.
Right.
And that's why eventually, but I don't think that would happen. Like Lane Kiffin, it's not.
Right, and that's why it literally could only be Lane that happens. Like it can't be a John Sumrall and having Edo back as the D-line coach recruiting court. It can't be a name anyone else. I mean,
Eli Drinkwitz.
Right, like it just because then if it doesn't work,
I don't think they get along.
Because then if it doesn't work, it's just promote O. It's right there.
Right.
Like I think the fact that Frank is on staff made you more comfortable with the decision to get rid of Kelly now. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't have Frank Wilson right there to take over as interim, you maybe wait until the end of the season to make the move. But you're comfortable in the fact that you've got a guy that can hold the rope until the end of the season to make that move.
Well, yeah, because you can't go back to certainly not in the current state of what the offensive line looks like. You can't go to Brad Davis.
No.
Like
no.
whenever
people didn't even know if Brad was going to
make it through
keep his job.
And still don't.
Right.
But like whenever O was fired, you had somebody that's like, oh, okay, this, he can do the, get me to the finish line.
Yeah.
And that's a totally different scenario this year of how many games are left? 4?
4. And a bowl game, so 5.
Well, maybe.
Well, if you beat West Kentucky.
Yeah, you got to get one on the books. And so I think that is like different to have if you don't have Frank on staff. I don't know what direction. Cortez Hankton. I don't know. Alex Atkins probably.
Corey Raymond.
Maybe, yeah,
potentially.
But Frank is the guy.
Yeah, I mean
that makes the decision.
Associate head coach was his title, so
and it makes it all the more palatable. Like it was a firing was going to happen if Frank Wilson was on staff or not, but this makes it the transition of power much easier as you've seen him take the podium.
I guess Blake Baker.
No, you can't do that.
Could have been. Why?
Because if you make him interim,
then you hire
and
him.
What if he goes 0-4?
Yeah, no, that's true. That'd be quite the risk. Because that's my standpoint on if you hire Sumrall. In my opinion, if you hire Sumrall, it's a trade. I think Baker ends up being the head coach of Tulane.
It could very much be a trade with anybody.
Yeah.
If you go and poach a head coach from Ole Miss, if I'm Ole Miss, I am.
Yeah.
It's Uno reverse card. You take mine, I take yours. Because I'm sure, I don't know how LSU was known as it were, like they're in the market for the biggest names in the sport. Ole Miss is not, right? I wouldn't think that they're going to go out and get. I mean, they can go get James Franklin if they want him. I don't know who would hire him. If he needs to, yeah. Who?
Virginia Tech.
Okay, that makes sense. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's where he belongs. I guess he could go to Ole Miss. I would not. I don't rue the day if I see James Franklin on the schedule. That is a strike.
Same way I feel about if you can hire Brian Kelly. I'm not going to.
Exactly. But if I'm Ole Miss, if you want to go and poach Lane Kiffin for me, I'll go around and even if it's just out of spite, like Blake Baker, you're in your first opportunity to be a head coach, right down the way.
Right.
We haven't had defense here in a while, and he would fit it would be the same culture that Lane had created. It'd be very easy to pass the torch to that and not really miss a beat because Blake is what Lane is on offense. Blake's that on defense. I mean, he's right here.
Right, and that's the most interesting part about all of this to me. And I know that's far in the future. Blake is obviously still here, still the defense coordinator. Is how that ends up playing out. Like, there's obviously going to be a coaching carousel. So even if it goes Kiffin to LSU and then Sumrall gets the Ole Miss job, well, then Tulane's open. Blake Baker's gonna be their number one call. Or even if it's Ole Miss, and like you said, they call, like, Baker's going to be fielding calls, whether it's one of these jobs that ends up becoming open, or if it's Arkansas that's already open, or Florida that's already, like, the phone calls are going to come in, and so it's gonna be very interesting to see kind of the direction that it ends up going on that front.
2.5 weeks ago, people were saying it should be Blake as the head coach at LSU.
Right, and
so somebody else will take a stab, or at least approach the idea of him being.
Unless it just completely crumbles over the last 4 games.
Well, then people won't want him at LSU.
Right.
Which is how this whole merry-go-round continues to go. It's just, what have you done for me lately? Oh, he should be the head coach now. It's like, oh, he sucks. Get him off of here. Like, that's just the way people are.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I also think that if that is the trade of you lose your defensive coordinator to get a head coach, you take the trade 10 times out of 10, right? Like it's a lot harder to find a head coach than it is to find. I would assume. So we appreciate everybody joining us here on this Thursday morning as we continue the LSU football talk. We will run our sit down with Michael Cauble, the sports director over at WBRZ, who joined us yesterday. We recorded it. Really good sit down with him as we talked about the LSU firing of Brian Kelly, the Brian Kelly tenure, the next 4 games, the 1 month of Frank Wilson and what that's going to look like, the excitement there, as well as the future that sits in front of us from an LSU football standpoint. So don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by CAS Roofing and Advising. You see the folder right here, CAS Roofing and Advising. It's not just another roof, it's our reputation. Our guy, Pierce Patterson from CAS, his number's 225-910-0619. Give him a call. If you've got grit in your driveway coming off your roof, if you've got missing shingles, if you've got a leak in the house, or if your roof is 10 years old or older, you might be time to get you a new one. Give him a call, 225-910-0619. He'll come out there, hop up on the roof, check it out. He'll let you know what the deal is. If you're good, you're good to go. If it's not, he'll let you know the next steps, and he'll walk you through the process. So give him a call over at CAS Roofing and Advising. We will take a quick break and be right back after this.
Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granning at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing. It's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome in as we are joined by WBRZ Sports Director Michael Cauble to continue the discussion on LSU football in the new era. Michael, thank you for joining us.
I'm excited to be here. First time. Ring a bell. Come in. First time. Long time listener.
It's on the wall.
Yeah, there we go. Pick a wall.
But no, we appreciate you.
Put your space back here.
yeah. Lloyd's bare wall. The first day we were here, they thought Lloyd was in a mental asylum.
Yeah, it could be. But thankfully, I've been bailed out.
They might have been right.
Yeah. Something was driving me crazy.
Yeah. Well, that problem might have been solved.
Yes.
But we'll start it with yesterday and today as well with Frank Wilson's SEC teleconference as well as the press conference last night. Just the energy, the vibe. You were in the room, you were on the teleconference. What did you take away from Frank meeting with the media? For the
first time? It's exactly what I thought when I heard that he was going to be the interim coach. I mean, he is a relationship guy. It's kind of what we talked about. He's built his career on building relationships, and that's what it is about at this point. It's about keeping this thing together, right? Yeah. Sure, they want to try to win some games, and that's a selling point to keep everybody involved. But at the core of it, it's keeping the roster intact, keeping the recruiting intact till they get to the finish line. And that's really what Frank was about. You heard his rally cry, Pearl Harbor thing. Sirens. A little weird, but all right, we'll roll with it. So it's circle the wagons. I mean, it's kind of play the hits at this point. Yeah. Happened when Ed got coach. I told everybody at work yesterday, I was like, if anything, they're going to be on time now, and practice is going to be shorter. And sure enough, if they didn't move it up because practice was shorter, bringing some of the old players back, there's a playlist that kind of happens here. Everything that the old guy that you hated about him, it gets reversed. Right. And they do all the new fun stuff. O did it when he got here, extra ice cream and cookies, So, no, I mean, you kind of knew what it was, but Frank's the exact right guy for this moment because he can keep things together. And as I said on Sunday night when Brown was getting fired, Frank is going to know everybody's names. Right. He's going to know their parents' names. He is a relationship builder, and I think the guys can gravitate towards that and want to play for a guy like that in that situation.
Definitely, and I think when you look at what he's ushering in, the holding the rope, so to speak, through the rest of the season, he's the absolute right guy, just like you said. But I want to ask, kind of looking back at the last 3.5 years, it started off really so strong in a sense with that first season under BK, right, where you beat Alabama at home, you make the SEC championship game, and then it just never kind of caught traction after that. In your opinion, where did it kind of go wrong in a sense, or slow down and maybe not stay on the same track?
I think fundamentally for me, the biggest issue with Brian was that he just didn't live up to his deliverables. Right. What he talked about was graduating champions, right? But a key piece of that was also the development of the football team, and you just never saw development. Right. You didn't see guys get better from when they got here to when they left. You saw different guys come in that maybe were better than the ones they had, and you're even seeing that this year on this team. If I asked you to name somebody who's gotten better, it's probably Damian Ramos. Right. like measurables that you can see. Obviously Trey Dez is a great bright spot, and Harlan Berry's a great bright spot. But let's be honest, those guys are kind of first-year players, right? Have they gotten better? Have we seen them improve? So that's my biggest heartache with Brian, was just that nobody was getting better. And it was kind of real status quo, just let's keep rinsing and repeating. And that's where it went wrong, right? Yeah. And ultimately you lose games because of that. And you're seeing, this team depend heavily on the personnel that's on the field to have some success. With weeks not being on the field, it was just kryptonite to that defense.
And I'll ask specifically about this past Saturday, because to me and Lloyd have talked about it since, that was more than just a loss on the field. Like, it was bigger than whatever the 49-25. It was the way A&M took over the stadium. Like, I remember going into the fourth quarter, I'm sitting in the seats and I've got, my head in my hand like this, and I hear this roar. So I look up and I'm like, what happened? And it's the A&M fans, and it's their team hyping them up. And then in turn, you see the student section get taken over after the Kyle Parker touchdown. A&M fans are chanting the Tigers chant. Like, it was just everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Everything, that was embarrassing. I mean, it was embarrassing. I went to school there 25 years ago, and it was embarrassing for me. Like, just to see the student section get to that point and, like, nobody fight, like, physically fight. Like,
I said the same thing this morning. I was like, I can't believe that there was, like, if that happened to me when I was in school, like, where somebody's taking a body.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just come over here and, like, take the student section over.
I mean, there were enough Jim Beam bottles when I went to school that there would have been some chucks in people's heads for sure. Like, and, like, it was disappointing. Like, and, like, you guys are going to get me on a topic that I don't really want to talk about. But, like, this student section is such a bunch of front runners. You know, like, there's guys that paint their chest and they're just, you know, all in it, and they're the ones leading the Fire Brian Kelly chants. It's like, what are you? Like, are you really in on this, or are you, like, just, like, bullshitting the whole time?
You know what they are? They're spoiled.
Damn it, you got me. But they are, right? I mean, like, they've never seen bad football, man. I had Curly Holman, I had Jerry DiNardo. Like, I mean, I had some really bad football, so I could appreciate kind of where this thing went. And hey, look, good for them. They haven't really had it. Like, their worst season was 8-4, probably. You know, so 7-5 with less. Yeah, you spoiled ass.
2002, so I was born into Saban.
Golden child.
Damn. No, but like, no, that was you. Just back to the point. That was like getting your pants pulled down and getting like a bare ass slap. You know, like that was what A&M did from soup to nuts, like on the football field, and then taking over the whole stadium, like you said. It was ridiculous. And I heard that same thing in the fourth quarter, and I too was shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I'm on the field, so I'm watching them file out, right, and I see all the empty seats that are opening up. But then, yes, to be there at the end, there's a lot of things that I have to do on a game day, but one of them was obviously getting a lot of shots because I kind of saw where this thing was heading. And so I'm behind Nussmeier. They're doing the alma mater at the end of the game. I'm shooting Nussmeier because obviously who knows what this is going to be like after that game for him. And I framed it up so like right over his shoulder was the friggin' Aggie kids doing their swaying. And it was just like, damn it, man. Like in your house. Like,
sickening.
It really was. I mean, if you care about LSU, it was sickening. And that was what I said like Sunday night about Brian. Like, just I wanted him to feel that, and I knew he never would. You know, but that's what people live and die with this stuff.
Yes.
You know, and like it just and look, maybe some of that has to do with contract and money, and you're happy with $100 million, and who wouldn't be, right? Like, let's not be stupid about it. But yeah, I just want you to care as much as I care about you. I want you to care as much as as that dad in Addis that's trying to take his 7-year-old son to the game for the first time, and it's going to be a life core memory for them. You know, like that's what LSU football should be about. We've strayed away from it some, but that's what I hope it gets back to.
And that was the tweet I think you put out that I liked most when you talked about fit.
Yeah.
And it was just one word, it was care.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it comes down to is just caring.
People are like, there's no such thing as fit. And you're right, there's no such thing as fit when you're winning.
Right.
Like I was listening to a radio show this morning and they were talking about Saban, and Saban was a grade A asshole, but like he was winning. So everybody's willing to overlook it. Like a lot of the stuff Saban did is what Brian did, not really caring who you were or, what it was a lot about what could you do for me kind of stuff with Nick. Now he got better as he got older, but like that's kind of revisionist history. A lot of people will look past that because of the wins.
Of course. And when you look at Tommy Moffitt on that sideline, and I know, speaking of revisionist history, I think a lot gets made of it, and because it was robbing when you think of 2020 and 2021. Yeah. Like I remember after the UCLA game, it was like LSU just got pushed around and bullied.
I was saying the same thing. Right. Like I'm saying the same thing about Jake Flint right now. Yeah. Right. Like so, like a lot of that is cyclical and maybe a crutch for us as well.
Right.
I was happy for Tommy. I saw Tommy on the field. Talked to him. Talked to his wife Jill. They were excited. They were fired up. But no, I mean, let's rewind the clock, right? Day one mistakes that Brian made.
Yeah.
You have to have some guys in the foxhole with you that have been in the foxhole before, and he got rid of some of the best foxhole dudes.
And then having to turn around and
rehire them.
Right. Like Corey Raymond got let go.
Hey, my guy. Yeah. Like, is he even the one? Did Brian ever make that call? Like,
I wouldn't. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Just if I were to just hypothetically just guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
I would think that, I mean, you can kind of draw the parallels. If you let him go, like, that's a tough phone call to have to make back. And it's a testament more to, like, Corey Raymond to be like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if I were him, like, I want Brian to call me, though. Like, I want to hear from him, the horse's mouth of, like, because he didn't even tell him.
Didn't talk to him.
The first time, the free's like, I guess I'll go look for a job. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be here or not. And that was, when you look back and you say revisionist history, this is just straight up history. When you look back at the beginning of the genesis of the Brian Kelly era, I think you talked about it too. It's like when he showed up, he just glad-handed, and that's putting it politely. He just walked into his car and left, and people were there to, like, it was a welcome party. Like, they wanted to see you. They wanted to give you the king's ransom of, here's the red carpet, man. Like, come see your fan base. And he's like, I'm getting in the car.
I mean, we've seen that at other SEC schools. There's a playbook for it. Like we said, you get out, you kiss the baby, you hold them up, like shake the hands, and I remember, like, I vividly remember trying not to be openly disappointed in that moment on TV. And, like, we talked about it afterwards at work, and they're like, dude, you're kind of hard on him. I was like, I wanted to be a lot harder, I'll tell you the truth. I was like, because it was, and I think I called it a missed opportunity at the time, but it was such, like, an obvious optic that, like, hey, man, you're the new guy in town.
Right.
Like, we all think you're a jerk, quite honestly. Like, show us you're not.
Right.
And he just showed us who he was. Like, yep, hopped in the Sprinter van, hit the road, Jack. And, like,
it was a chance to change his narrative.
It really was.
And then I guess he had somebody in his ear that was like, look, you can make good on this. And then it leads to the PMAC.
Yeah.
And listening back to that, it was the whole time he was talking like, it wasn't just a family slip up. He was Southern coded. It was like, what about listening to? Yes.
Yeah. I don't, that one, I'll give him a pass on that one. But, like, because I think sometimes people latch on to things, and, like, make it something that it's not. That one didn't bother me as much, as oddly as not shaking hands or just going in hey, thanks for coming, everybody. Right. We're fired up to be here. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Like, that's it.
Exactly, right? A minute. Like, it takes, like, a minute of your life, and it goes a long way. And, like, so.
And you talk about the playbook, the blueprint of being successful at LSU, and that's where I have confidence where LSU is right now is because, like we said, to hold the rope for what's forward, nobody knows that blueprint better than Frank Wilson.
Yeah, or cares about it more.
Right, right. Or Austin Thomas, guys like that are in charge right now.
Yeah, but, okay, as good as that is, that's 4 games remaining.
Right.
And then where do we go from here? Yeah. And that's the real fun and, Louisiana mix of this whole thing. Like, who's getting involved?
Yeah.
From all the way to the top to all the way down.
I guess the mansion's open for any takers. Whoever wants to be in there.
Whoever wants to.
Said a couple few, but I didn't know that's what the building was for. But apparently it is. And that's where I think if people aren't from here or haven't been around LSU, this is how it always goes. It's one of the hardest jobs to mess up, and yet Louisiana continues to make it the hardest job to hire whenever, as soon as it comes open nationally, it's the best job in the country. And LSU continues to, let's see how hard we can make this, not only on ourselves, but the person we're trying to hire.
Yeah, but like you said, it's ingrained in us, to a degree. And so, like,
care too much.
We give it a pass, maybe, and I'm sure in other places, governors are getting involved, et cetera, but, like, anybody with a rational mind's like, dude, we've got enough problems in this state. Just focus on the real ones. We had monkeys loose with diseases yesterday, right? Planet of the Apes, that's great. So, like, let's focus on our real issues, and I can appreciate him having input, right? But I don't want him setting the deck so that it's like everybody. But hey, that's where we are in America right now. That's the way the world works. You don't like it, go get the job and change it yourself.
Yeah, and to you, with this job being open, is it what the national media makes out? Is it the best job available right now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. When you look at some of those other jobs and, like, the resources and the backing and stuff, it's gonna be tough. I think there's only so many times you can go to the well, you know, and be like, hey, we need another $1 million out of you, So I think that will be an issue that LSU is going to have to overcome. But now, when you look at the resources available, from just a football operations standpoint, then you look at the recruits and the base in Louisiana. Still, I think, real failure since Saban left is probably the ability to retain North Louisiana kids. Yeah. Like, those are those country strong kids that you got to get down here. Yeah. But, like, you got to get more of them, right? You got to get all of them. So you got to find a way to make it attractive to the North as much as you have done the South. Because it is 2 different states,
right?
It probably splits a government street, but it's that that ability to put a fence around the state, like Frank talked about, to keep the kids here, and the populace, as we've already talked about, loves it so much that they're all in at any point. All you have to do, Jay Johnson's a great example.
Right.
You know, you talked about fit earlier, and like, I got a fit, but he wins, man.
Right.
You know, and he makes the small efforts to try to fit, right? To understand us and to play in with us. Does he want to do all those coaches committee meetings and, you know, talk to the fans and sign baseballs? Probably not. He'd probably rather be recruiting, right? But he's willing to do it. He understands that's the ask of the job, and that comes with a paycheck. And I think that's the part that people were out on with Brian, because he just didn't do it.
And in your mind, I guess just in a guessing world, where do you see this job search, this coaching search heading? Like no inside sources, or just straight up, where do you think?
I mean, I think it can go every single direction, from the top down. Like, so when I did it on TV the other day, I said, you start with Nick, you make Nick say no, and then you move on. And you do that with Lane, and you do that with Dan. Like, those are the three I think you got to make them say no. And then you get to John. Like, I think John would be a perfectly good hire for LSU. I liked Kelvin Shepard. I'm on Feinbaum yesterday. I called him Kelvin Spears for some unknown reason. But
yeah, they're a great player.
Right? Dominant defense. No, like, I love what he's doing in Detroit. You know, he probably doesn't want to do it. But I think taking that interview means a lot to a certain aspect of the fan base, right? I'd like Marcus Freeman. I'd love to have a young guy with energy in here, you know, pumping things up. Maybe John's that guy, you know, in a different direction. But, I you know, Frank wins. I don't know, man. I mean, like, that door is open. So, like, that's what I'm saying. From the top down, anything is possible, Kevin Garnett. But, you know, I just think that it's going to be interesting because of the previous dynamic with the governor and the board of supervisors and that whole rigmarole.
And when you say, like, you have to call Nick Saban, you have to call Dan Lanning, you have to, and people are like, why would you even bother? It's because of the optics of, if you don't call Nick Saban, he goes on and calls you, like, I'm going to tell you, they never even reached out. Like, you have to try. It's not, so, he told me no. Like, you're not going to ask the hottest girl in the room out. Like, why? What if she likes you?
Well, so this is an instance where you're the hottest guy in the room, too, though. So, it's not like, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not like it's a crazy ask, you know? Like, you're going to go make that phone call, and you're going to know pretty quickly whether he's interested or not interested. And that's for everybody. And if there's a little bit of interest, then you just keep poking at it until they're like, all right, dude, you're annoying, get out of here, you know? So, like, no, but yeah, not only for the possibility of, like, them never saying no, but just because you have to, like, that's your due diligence. I think you'd be neglectful. Now, the real fun is who's making that phone call.
Right.
And that is where this thing gets muddy and gross, and to Lloyd's point, just, you know, Louisiana kind of getting in its own way sometimes.
Yeah. No, but I think the biggest loser in all of it is probably Florida. They're probably sitting there pretty upset about the way this is played out.
I mean, have you guys been to Gainesville?
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I'm not saying Baton Rouge is great, right? But, like, I mean, like, come on.
That's the funniest part about the SEC, and that's why I think LSU and Louisiana care so much. What else you really got?
Yeah.
Because you look at, like, Starkville, Mississippi, and I'm not bagging on these places. LSU is not a ring above, Baton Rouge is not a ring above very many places. Like Starkville, Gainesville, Arkansas. It's like, it's all they have, all we have is, and that's why I think that maybe politics does get involved, because LSU football is such a power in the state and how it drives financially what can go on in Baton Rouge. And if it gets bad, like you saw, where it starts to influence kind of the money that comes in, the revenue, people aren't going to football games, and what really is LSU football. So I think that's where they start to see it, and it's also if you can hop in at a time where you don't have a president, and it's like, where do you go? It's like, oh, I'm gonna sneak in and I'll make the call because I'm the who's gonna tell me no?
Right.
And that's where you could use it as a political springboard to get elected again. And if you're the guy, I fried Brian Kelly.
You know, we talk about like Saudi whitewashing. Like, that's exactly what this is, right? Mm-hmm. Politicians, lawyers, you know, whatever, using that connectivity to LSU to further their brand, to make it look better. And again, I'm not here to say whether that's right or wrong. Right. You know, like, I mean, if you got the opportunity to do it and the financial resources to do it, go nuts. Yeah. Like, good on you for being smart enough to do that. And to Lloyd's point, to grab that power while you can. And that's why I compared it to, you know, national politics. It's It's no different than the game plan being run in DC right now. Right. So, like, why wouldn't you?
There's a chance to win. People want to win.
Yeah.
And
everybody loves a winner right here.
That's right. That's right. And to that point, if you taking back to the A&M game, if it doesn't go that way, if it's not a 41 to whatever, you want to call it 25?
49-25.
Yeah, if you want to give them that touchdown, sure. It felt like A&M could claim that one.
Right.
But if it's not that, if it doesn't look, because if you were there, the first half, that place was trying to will LSU to a win. They weren't out yet. Like, everybody was bought in. The atmosphere was electric, and then it goes totally south.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, if it's competitive, if it doesn't look that way where A&M takes over your stadium and you have the powers that be that are all there, they just went to Vanderbilt. All those guys with the money, that was their trip. And they see LSU kind of get dominated there, like, okay, and then we're going to go to A&M and it happens again. If they're not a part of that or get to witness it and it's a close game, I don't think we're in the situation at all.
I think you're in a different situation. You're in a similar situation because my thought process was whenever they got removed from the playoff picture, legitimately, and that's when you would see some changes. When I woke up on Sunday, I was not expecting Brian Kelly to be the guy fired. Right. I was expecting Brad and Joe to be the guy fired. And I think that's kind of, the potential of where this thing would have been if they had lost. Even if they had lost competitively, I would have been interested because I felt like that was the benchmark. Once you get that third loss, something's going to have to happen, just so people know that you're not asleep at the wheel.
Right.
If you're Scott Woodward. So, no, but it was that embarrassing, humiliating takeover your trap game that LSU suffered.
With that, do you think it was also, you see there's reports of Lane Kiffin in Florida kind of have a commingling, and is it like, do you have to do it now so you don't miss the boat on somebody? Well, you have a coach that he's not going to make it all 10 years. This relationship has soured if there ever was one where it's very obvious he doesn't like LSU or the people, the culture. The culture is really not fond of him at the moment, and I don't think they were ever in. But if, like you said, everybody loves a winner. You're not winning, and so LSU, if you're there, like you can't swing and miss on a third time for ultimately who would be the hire or who people want is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be a first in line situation anymore because the world has changed a little bit with college football, and there's so many things that you can do behind the scenes, to kind of keep this thing going. Like that's the conversation right now is like, well, can you wait till the playoffs are over? Right. You don't really have to wait until the playoffs are over. If he's interested, let's speak hypothetically of Lane. If he's interested, you can get a backdoor deal done, and you may get left at the altar a la Bryce Underwood,
Mm-hmm.
and that may be a reality, but I think that there's enough probably things that you could do behind the scenes to shore that up. No, I don't necessarily think that it's got to be first in line. I really do think it was like the third loss out of the playoff picture, kind of this is coming. And maybe one of my favorite phrases came into play where anything you will do eventually you should do immediately.
Right.
Like maybe that's kind of where it got to.
Yeah. Because I definitely think if you would have just held on and it stayed the same temperature, would have just became a distract. People almost would have been counting down for that next $10 million to come off the buyout.
All it was is life support. Like somebody asked me, like after they beat South Carolina, I was like, "You feel any better?" It's like, no, this thing just extended itself a week.
Right.
Like it's just week to week. Really is 1-0, right? Like in a different way. No, like that's the way I felt. And then the Vandy game. I wasn't actually at the Vandy game, but that was tough too because. Right. Regardless of whatever we think about Vanderbilt, they're a good team, but they pushed LSU around, and it's just like, man, what is happening?
They put that sign on the media room. Did you see that? They put a warning sign on the visitor media room that was like caution, slamming on tables, screaming, like basically like making a jab.
Yeah. That was right there. I was holding the mic when Brian did it. Right. My friend's like, "Good job, you didn't flinch." I was like, kind of saw it coming. Did it again. Right. Did it again.
And that's part, like, this whole era, it's like you can point to, like, certain roadblocks, if you will, of, like, the chapters in the book are right in front of you. Like, when he does that, it's like you're cosplaying as, I guess I'm supposed to be angry when I go up there. It never felt genuine.
Here you go. I got one for you. You can pick out those instances more easily than you can pick out signature wins.
Right.
Great moments. Like what we got Alabama, right? Like what's the next one?
Clemson?
Yeah, I guess.
That's grasping.
Right?
The cheese and bowl.
Stealing one from Ole Miss, at
Yeah.
home, right? Like, I mean, like, yeah. So, like, but like, we could all point to like funny, odd things that Brian did. You know, like you just roll them off. Yeah, just like roll them off our tongue, like no problem. Like that ought to tell you where your program's at, right?
Because we did a like a video of like a blind ranking of, and our social media guy that came in, Wyatt, was like, it's 5 Brian Kelly embarrassing moments. I was like, I can think of, like, because you just don't know which one's going to come next. And I was like, all right, let's save that one on the back burner because I don't know what else is on the table.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where it was with this era. And it's just...
That's the thing. Like, if we look at this objectively, and this is, we do this every year. We're gonna do it next spring. We're gonna do it next fall camp.
Right. Like, for the next 10 years.
We're just gonna drink that Kool-Aid like crazy people, and like 10-2. I said 10-2 on this team, like knowing full well that they're replacing their offensive line. Like, what kind of idiot am I? Like this is the point, and we do it every year. And you could sit there and you could look at it like, well, yeah, but Nuss is coming back, and you're like, he doesn't have an offensive line. Right. He barely had an offensive line last year, and they went to the league. You know, it's like,
well, then they go and beat Clemson. You're like, they might run the table,
right? No, but we were all the country. But we were all like, this defense is awesome. You know, that's the old LSU. Brian's like, we're gonna win it with defense. Fuck the offense. You know, it's like, God,
that's all it takes.
One.
That a gimmick play.
Oh my God. Then when he said that, dude, nobody could see me. I was like, I held up the number 1. I was like, it was one fucking play at the end of the game, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and you had to get into a heavy set that you've never run since.
And you would put your defensive end to pull back. Like, this is the run game. Yeah. Like, all it takes is one of those.
That's all we're gonna do.
It's all it takes is a
fuck Piper playing on the line, man. He's coming offense. Like, this is, and we're renovate this thing in a hurry. It's gonna be Nebraska in the 90s.
Yeah, Maryland die.
Yeah. And it's only going to get more interesting from here and keep us pretty busy over the coming months. But we appreciate you making your way in and hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Can't wait to come back.
We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Martin has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granding III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Martin has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
We have a certain conversation. Everybody on here was on unity council. That's who need to be talking. Everybody that's on unity council in that building at LSU, that's who need to be talking. Ain't no leader speaking up. You don't see it. And for the players that's still there, I was 18. I'm gonna personally speak to the 18. Stop laying your ass on the ground. I don't care how many times they hit you. Get the fuck up. Look the defensive lineman in the face. Tell them, boy, you're playing with something that you ain't never played with before. Keep hitting me. Keep hitting me. I'm dropping down every single time. Do not lay on that turf. If you go lay out there, it need to be a stretcher because we pick you up and take you off the field. Get up, play the next play. Nobody cares. We don't feel sorry for you. We done all been through it. We know my body is beat up. I have no cartilage in my knee. My shoulder I ate up. We all done. Nobody cares.
Can't raise my arm above this anymore.
You picked this boy. You picked this school. You had hats laid out all across the table. You could have picked another one, but you chose this one. And you got that number on your back, 1-8. If only been one quarterback that's more there before you. You wearing it now. Spin it. And got to get it now.
And this O-line's got they got to fight, man. They got to get in a fight with some. Like at some point, they got to help them up. I mean, like you should be fucking embarrassed. And I've been a part of battle lines that are kind of struggling, and the tendency is to like almost sort of give up because you keep getting beat, and then you start to accept it. You cannot fucking accept it. You should be embarrassed every time the quarterback gets hit. You should be running over to pick him up. You should be fighting guys that are sitting there bitching you. It goes back to soft culture.
The mindset of right now is, if I'm LSU, if I can't get in the playoff, the next 1-3, y'all can't get in either. We all gonna sit home and parlay and everything else. If I can't go, your ass can't go.
Right.
If I can't go, and you can call it petty, selfish, all that. I don't care. If I can't go, you can't go.
Absolutely.
All right, I couldn't have said any better myself than the handful of LSU legends on the screen there, some LSU stars.
Leadership Council, all of them.
Leadership Council, all of them. I couldn't have said it better than Brandon Taylor myself. I mean, my favorite part, obviously there's a lot to break down just from that one clip. My favorite part is if we ain't going to playoffs, you ain't going to playoffs neither.
We can sit home and parlay. I don't care. Call me selfish. I don't give a fuck.
But if we ain't going to playoffs,
spoil it.
You ain't going to playoffs neither. And
if I can't, y'all can't go neither.
Hey, if I can't have her, you can't have it either.
I'm gonna burn this whole thing down. That's Scott.
No, I mean, like, look, I'm not.
You can tell by the tone of his voice. Like that's funny. He is so goddamn serious about whether it's on the Nussmeier front, the 18 front. Because that was the different era. That, like, you can tell it's just the cloth from which they were cut. They don't really talk like that anymore. Where it's like, you never met somebody like me before.
Right.
All day. And that's like I've talked about it before a little bit, like Baker Mayfield. Whenever he gets hit on a zero blitz and it's supposed to be a big play for the defense, and he turns the thing around on him, you're like, oh my, fire me up.
Right. And that's where and that's the clip where he's like, if you're gonna lay down on the field, it better be because a stretcher's coming out to pick you up. And that's, I mean, and it's
they're both right. T-Bob's right.
Right.
BT's right.
Right. It's not just a Nussmeier thing. It's a lot of the offensive line will just down goes my QB, and then if you're Nuss, it's like, how many times am I going to end up here? And so it really is like a mentality aspect of it, and that's where my excitement for what's to come originates. Like, I'm excited to see if with Frank that mentality aspect kind of flips on its head, and you're back to that.
Yes.
You know, because that's what, like, listening to Brandon say that, where it's like, if I'm not going to the playoffs, you're not going either, was the mindset of the LSU I grew up with. Like, not that specifically, because the playoff hadn't been around that long, but it's like, well, just like Lamine Barrow said, you're either gonna get beat or you're gonna get beat up, and that has not been the case of LSU under Brian Kelly. Where you have Tennessee can come into Tiger Stadium on a Saturday morning and blow you out, and then Bama can come in on a Saturday night and blow you out, and then A&M can take over your stadium. Like, those things, that's year 1, year 3, and year 4 examples. Like, that can't happen. And it's not like it's just a one-off of just A&M. Like, you can point at and then I'll point at year 2. I'll point at year 2 where you get beat up by Florida State in the second half of that football game. Like, you can point at these games in each season where LSU didn't beat you and didn't beat you up either. Like, where it's just, and even Ole Miss in year 2, like, LSU scores 49 points and loses. LSU didn't beat you and they didn't beat you up. Like, that mentality is gone. And that's my hope, is that with Frank at the helm and the mentality he obviously has and the desire he has, and he was around for those years, bring that back. The pride in the 3 letters and the 2 colors and those 4 notes. Bring that pride back where you're either going to beat LSU or you're going to get beat up, and Alabama's next. Like, there's not a better game to announce to the world that you're not this little punk LSU than against Alabama in Tuscaloosa in a week and a half.
And a lot of people are pointing to, and you can say this maybe, college football has certainly changed since the Brandon Taylor era.
Right.
And I get that. Like, it's hard to be, I guess, set your jaw, if you will, because you 15 yards, you're going to get ejected.
Right.
And you saw it with Witt, where it's like, I made a football play.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
the
so
sport's changed.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean the swagger has to.
Right.
And people are pointing to NIL at LSU and all of that. Like, Seville said it best, like, they're all getting paid. Ohio State, they get paid. Bama, they get paid. Hell, at Indiana, they get paid.
Right.
Like, so it's not that. Because if you want to take that out of it and enjoy LSU football,
right,
it'd be me and Noah running around out there for the love of the colors.
Just
and it will be a stretcher on the field. I will be nobody has seen more stars and the moon this year than Garrett Nussmeier. But if we were out there, that would just be the bright light, and I'm walking right into it. But like, Nuss has ended up and it has to be like a moment of reflection for him,
right? Where
he's just like, "What the fuck, man?" Again, but you can't have that mentality because it allows a defense to know, like, he's about to quit.
Right.
We're on his ass.
Well, and it gives, like, and you're the quarterback, so you've signed up for this assignment. It also gives the offensive line an excuse to have that mentality where it's like, well, I mean, he don't care. I mean, shoot. I mean, like, I'm not going to, whatever.
You don't block for nobody.
Like, it's this trickle down
plug
effect.
Nickel.
And that's why I'm excited, where I think the trickle down effect doesn't start with Garrett Nussmeier. It started above him with Kelly and Sloan.
Mm-hmm.
And so now if you remove that, maybe there's a shift. That's the hope. I can't guarantee that that's going to happen. I have a pretty strong feeling that they're going to play with a little bit more fire than they have, with Frank as the head man. But I can't guarantee that you're going to see this mindset shift throughout the program in a 2-week span.
Well, you'll have to. This would be an intense 2 weeks if that's what they're going through. It'd be almost like boot camp, like to where, like, if you ain't like this, you're out. But I think it is going to be, and you've already seen a little bit of it happen already, where we're not taking the week off to go off and be individuals.
Right.
Like, it's almost, if you leave, how much you really on this team.
Right.
Like, the precedent has been set of, we're all in this together. And if you're one of the guys that wants to go bounce and be like, oh, man, I had this, like, fuck, you don't. Like that's how
not how it works.
That's how a locker room either comes together or that's how
this thing will crumble.
Cliques gets formed,
right?
And it starts to become me versus you or us versus them, and that's not what you like. I don't think Frank would let that happen. But in the same voice, if that is the thing that if players some of them are don't show up or are all out, don't come back to the yard.
Right.
Like, you're not allowed back in the club.
Once you're out, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Granning, and while we're at it, let's get rid of this 18 and number 7 stuff. I don't think we have anybody successful after getting those numbers. That is a conversation that's become much more prevalent after this season, where Nuss gets 18 and Perk gets 7. Obviously, neither of them have really lived up to the billing.
That's on you. Like, if you put that much stock into it,
right?
Like, it's the end of the day. I guess we'll just treat it like a number. But what do you want? Like, so nobody will ever wear 7 again. Nobody will ever wear 18 again. You're taking 2 numbers off because it does come with a certain caveat of you better live up to the billing. And if that's unfair pressure, or does it heighten your expectations so much because of the ones that were it before them that you go, well, she's not Tyrann Mathieu. Like, of course she's fucking not Tyrann Mathieu. Like, there's one of them.
Because that's my thing where it's like, just because there's a down year with a number, there's been a handful of them, doesn't mean that it's done. I mean, we've seen years where number 8, like 18 doesn't really have anything to do with your ability to play the sport.
Well, that's where he's letting it down.
And that's the aspect where Nuss is letting it down. But he has been, the first one in how long that's let it down in that manner? Like, I thought they've gone on a pretty good run of 18s up until that one.
It's almost impossible to miss.
Right. And ultimately, you've missed. But that doesn't mean that you can't give 18 to
Whit Weeks if he comes back.
Weeks if he comes back next season. And then, I mean, you're bought back in. Or whoever it could end up being. And the same with 7. Like, I know 7 has lost its allure a little bit because you went on a run with the first one right here behind me, and then it gets passed down to Tyrann Mathieu, and it was like almost lightning in a bottle of, oh my gosh.
How cool is this?
And then you give it to a freshman who ends up being Leonard Fournette, and then it's like, okay, well, this number is unbelievable.
Your top 5 pick.
And then it started to phase out. I mean, DJ Chark, I didn't think had a bad 7 season. But he was your playmaker. And then obviously you give it to Jonathan Giles, and it's... And then Delpit, unfortunately, spends his year dealing with injury, so he didn't really get to show off how good of a player he was. Because if you go back and watch that sophomore season, Lord have mercy.
That's a 7.
That's a 7.
You go back and watch Derek Stingley's freshman year. It's
right,
7.
That's 7. And so Kayshawn Booty's end of freshman to the beginning of his sophomore year, that's a 7. Like, but you have the players on this team where if they stick around, you're like, why can't Harlan Berry wear 7?
Mm-hmm.
I'll put 7 on Trey Green next year. Like, so I get it, and it really comes down to how much you invest into it, I guess. Because, like, for me, 18, I put a lot of stock into. And that's where I get upset in the same way Brandon Taylor does about Nuss. 7, I know what it's supposed to represent, so I know when it doesn't look like that. But 7 doesn't coincide to me with you have to be the best player at all times. And what 7 means to me is you're usually the best athlete, which should mean you're the best player. But the game has changed a little bit, and so I get it. But what's the alternative? Like Lloyd said, we retire it. We put 7 up in the rafters with whose name next to it,
right? And 18 and then if you do the wait for somebody that's generational, like, okay, and then your expectations change if you haven't seen it in 3 years,
right?
And then it goes on. Insert whatever, like...
Well, it's like with Leonard, where nobody had worn 7, I don't think, in 2012 or 13, and then Leonard gets here in 2014, and they give it to him as a freshman, and it's like...
The prince that was promised, but
I mean,
pretty safe bet.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet. He's the best player in the world.
Maybe that's what it should be, where it just becomes another number, and it's like you give it... A freshman can have it.
Right.
You know? Like, the tradition dies. but I don't think people like. What if that's like if Harlan Berry was in 7? I don't think people would be like, that's a waste of it.
Right.
Like if he had come in and been wearing number 7, I wish he was in. Obviously, we've done this with the Heisman winners, where it's just there goes 9, there goes 5.
Right.
I'd love to have seen Harlan Berry in 5.
Oh yeah,
because he's very reminiscent of one president.
President Reggie Bush. No, I'm with you, but I think it's interesting. It's an interesting discussion to have, but like at the end of the day, what can really change about it? Do we just lose the allure of it in all and just give 7 to anybody?
Right.
Like, because you can do that, but then at the same time, it's going to be like, well, 7 still means something, right? Like, to our eyes, we're still going to see a player in 7 regardless of who it is. And you're going to be like...
There's a legacy there.
You know?
It can't be on the sidelines.
No. Same with 18. Like
it can't just be Brian Kelly's son.
Right.
Thanks for the GPA, I guess.
But like,
he's got the best NIL deal of all time.
Yeah, $53 million. So, I think it's very interesting to see where it could end up, but at the same time, it's going to be a thing. It's not going to stop.
Because clearly, Brandon Taylor wouldn't talk about the number like that if it didn't mean something.
18's forever. Like, there's 18 will be a thing forever. Because it means that much to guys that have worn it. The way you hear Brandon Taylor talk about it, Jacob Hester talk about it, like 18 is not just, it's never going to mean nothing. And it'll forever, like 7 is different. 7 is just kind of like, it wasn't even intent. Like 18 was almost kind of intentional of like, okay, this is now turning into the leader of our team. 7 was just Tyron saying, Pat, you care if I wear it?
No, it was the opposite. It was Pat Pete saying, I want you to wear my number, continue my legacy, because we came in here and we're changing.
But it just started with just those two. Like, it wasn't this thing, and then it ends up like Leonard was kind of where it ended up becoming.
No. The Tyron. Like, Pat made it like a point.
Right. But it was from Pat to Tyron, and then it didn't go to anybody until Leonard.
Right.
And so when it got to Leonard is when it was like, okay, this is now officially a thing that's happening.
Yeah, sure, I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like, because the Pat and Tyron, like, I'm with you. Like, that's where it started, 100%. Pat making the decision of you get it,
and then they put it away,
right?
Until it was like, okay, there's another 7 at LSU, right? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
because that's what I mean. It's saying like that. That's how traditions start.
Yes,
but then it became like, I hadn't seen this number in a bit. It's like if a quarterback came out in 9 in 2 years, you'd be like,
and then now
they must know something.
And then it became a yearly thing.
Right.
It's like every year we've got.
Who's going to be 7? Who's going to be 18? TigerDroppings.com.
Right.
middle of June. Who do you think's going to get 18? It's like, oh, this question again. Then the best thing about the question, both numbers, like I said, middle of June, July, baseball's over, you're waiting for football. That question always comes up. Everybody hates it, but everybody has an answer.
Oh, everybody's got an answer.
Like, it's the most first take LSU thing ever, where it's like, I don't want to talk about. Well, you know who should get it.
Yeah. Don't we talk about numbers really? I mean, in my opinion, it should be.
Yeah.
Every time.
But when you really get down to it, like, look who's coming back. I don't know, who I could see getting it. And maybe this is our fault because we drove the narrative of Nuss being an 18, and now knowing that Brian Kelly had literally zero pulse of the football team, he probably saw the narrative, saw the story. It was like, oh, let's give it to Nuss, right?
You look back and you're like, yeah, Whitweek should have got 18. And then, like, and CVO has an interesting point of saying you could give it to a player after a couple of games. Like, imagine you don't hand out 7 or 18.
You get a game ball jersey.
After 2 games, you go, you know what, Mansour, you're 7.
That would be actually kind of on board with that.
You know what I mean? Or like, actually, Whit, we've seen the way you've stepped up. You're 18 now.
And it causes a divisiveness in the locker room.
Like,
I should be 7.
18, I think you do the same way you're doing it now. But the conversation on 7, that point specifically, where it's like,
wait to see.
After Clemson, it's like, okay,
We know.
We've got 7.
He would look sick in 7.
He's wearing number 4 at corner right now. Like that. I don't hate that.
You could even take it a step further. This I would never do because it's wet and tarnation and it tarnishes the jersey. But like player of the game the next week, you get it. But I don't know how uniforms work. In that I mean, you can change numbers whenever you're running down on kick.
Yeah. Number 10 is now number 84. LSU's number 10 is now number 84. I mean, maybe you could. Like, I would assume you could do that.
Why not?
Like, I remember one of my buddies I went to high school with played at Georgia Southern, and they give like their player of the week gets 0 for the next game.
See?
And so he was number 14. They go to play Nebraska. Now he's in number 0. And so, I mean, maybe. But I like the point of, like, because after a handful of games, you kind of figure, like, after game 1, you looked at Mansour Delane and you were like, okay, fellas, we've got.
He's the best player on the team.
We've got the best, like, maybe the best cornerback in the world.
And
throw 7 on him.
Yeah, now I mean, he's been so good. And you are, I saw somebody say, like, that you have what you had on offense with, like, Malik and BTJ, like now you have that kind of on defense with
Mansour and AJ.
Yeah,
because they're good. Like
AJ Halsey is so good.
I went back and watched, and look, and I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but
Toot
when
it.
AJ committed, if you go back and watch the show,
I drafted him.
I said you did. I said you may look up in the middle of the season and say AJ Halsey is our best defensive player, and
Mansour Delane was right, but that's fine.
I
love the fact that I have to have the conversation.
Right. And they both are so good.
Sometimes I'll just, like, especially like at the game if they're on the side of the field that I watch from, I'll just watch Halsey.
Of course.
I'll just watch, like, won't look like the football, just watch him. And in the red zone, like when he had that pick, I was just staring right at him. And as soon as he threw it, like I saw him, I was like, "Oh, thank God!"
Dude.
Like, because he ain't dropping it either.
He is so good. And the celebration, the nickname / celebration of Mr. Gimme That.
Give me that.
That's LSU football.
I know. There's flashes.
It's just, God, if they could all put it together. But we appreciate all of you joining us here on this Thursday morning. Just a little housekeeping. I am on a plane to Denver this afternoon. And so unless, and it's very possible,
anything can happen.
Something crazy happens today in the LSU world. We will not have a show tomorrow morning. But if it's of the utmost necessity and something like yesterday or the day before or the day before
or the day before
comes out, which is the direction this week is going. And I really like the tweet that Jarrett Roser put out. I don't know if you saw. He posted on Twitter. He said, the national headline timeline on the LSU coaching situation. Sunday, credit to LSU for being proactive and not settling for mediocrity. Monday, unquestionably the best job opening. Tuesday, great message from Frank Wilson. He gets it and really underscores what BK was missing. Wednesday, the governor meets with the press. And it was like, well, what's Thursday going to bring?
Yeah, we're on an all-time heater.
So if Thursday brings something,
can't wait to watch the next episode.
We'll have a show tomorrow morning. If not, I'm going on a bachelor trip for one of my buddies.
Who trips Denver of all places in a time where it's not necessarily snowing. You don't golf.
I do golf.
You
golf,
right? But it's not a golf trip.
It's not. It's not.
I don't know what y'all are going to go do.
I will recap.
You don't smoke
on
the
Monday.
reefer.
I don't. I'll recap on Monday what we end up doing.
It's a great. I mean, John Denver's full of shit. The Rockies would be a little rockier than this, but I mean, Colorado's. I mean,
right.
Shocking. I like it, but I mean, it's a cool. Colorado's a fun state,
right?
But I wouldn't go there without a plan.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a plan. I just don't know what the plan is.
Whitewater rafting?
I'm just hopping on a plane. So.
Or is it you that is just out? Like you don't know, you're not in tune with what the boys are talking about? Are you the Luke Kwan of the bachelor party?
Do what?
The Luke Kwan of the bachelor party?
No, I think whoever's
in charge
knows what the plan is. I don't think any of the rest of us have any idea.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just hopping on the plane. I'm flying to Denver. So if there's a show that happens tomorrow, it's because something happens today.
Things to do in Denver right now.
As we speak.
A Nightmare on Strip Street. A Wicked Twist on Horror.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm
Oh,
scared.
this could be your paranormal dragtivity. Who says no? Holy Moly Golf Club.
There you go.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Carlos Mencia. That would be fun. Not. The Lion King. Live.
Uh-huh.
Spelloween. And Basoween. I could see y'all doing a little bit of that. A little bass nectar.
I don't know what any of these things are.
It's like a... Oh, then they have TNF Baltimore versus Miami.
There
which
we
y'all
go.
would definitely,
There we
that's what
go.
y'all are going to do. Yeah.
Now you're
We go to Denver to watch Thursday night football.
Now you're speaking my language. Now you're speaking my language.
I thought for sure it was going to be the
Yeah.
paranormal dragtivity. You can enter to win a pair of tickets. A pair of what? I do not know.
Let's close it out with some games.
Oh, you can play some games?
Yeah, let's play some games. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family, steal a stranger's phone, subscribe for them. They'll appreciate
Get some
it.
Denver subscribers.
I'm going to try to get some Denver subscribers.
Who are you sitting next to on the plane?
Nobody, flying by myself.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. If you don't get the person next to you to subscribe, utter fail. Go out and pitch it.
Of course.
Start up a conversation. They're
I'm
going
going to have the
to be
laptop right here watching it. And they'll be like,
Wait, that's how? Well, ego much?
Somebody's going to go talk to their fan and be like, I sat next to this douchebag watching his own
He's watching
podcast on
himself,
the plane.
and he was cutting up clips of himself.
He kept laughing at his own jokes.
There's
Hate
another
this guy.
crackhead on the show. Shout out, thank you.
Shout out the crackhead.
Shout out the crackheads.
I mean, you do wear that shirt.
Yeah, I lost it, which is very crackhead.
It's pretty fitting.
I guess I did wear that shirt because I think it was the. That's funny. That was remembered. Huh.
There you go.
But it was an ode to
Of course.
that individual because nobody works harder than that. The crackhead mentality. Nobody works harder than a crackhead looking for crack.
That is very true. By any means necessary.
Exactly.
Let's see. All right. Nick Sirianni, Nick Mangold,
Nick Nurse.
and
Nick Chubb. Who was the other one? Oh, rest in peace. That is very sad.
It is.
Even AJ Hawk got emotional. It was his roommate for 4 years, and he was like, that big lug was like, I think this is what emotions feel like.
Right.
I don't know what to do.
It was sad.
I think it's going to be water.
See, things like that make me more sad when people that don't usually get emotional.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
It's like, curveball, fastball, rise ball,
break ball, shake ball, shake that bear, curveball,
rise ball,
drop ball. Where's rise? Yeah, all types of balls
in softball. Yeah. Then you've got draft, trade, waivers, free agency, shake up, break up, slip up, shed up,
shake back, slip back, shake back, shed back. Harlan Berry.
Yeah. Things Harlan Berry does: shed tackles, slips tackles, breaks
tackles, escapes tackles,
slip, shed, break, shake. The Harlem Shake.
Les Miles.
Yep.
I was about to say it feels like Friday, but this has officially become my Friday. If nobody does anything, they're not supposed. That they're just everybody don't stay the course. Let's put a break in the addendum.
Yeah. No, don't say the course. Go ahead and stop it right here.
Yes. So I'll have a long weekend.
Let's get back to football.
Barn door. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I know the man. I don't know his name, but I know this is interesting.
This is jarring.
Where are you going in Denver?
So is his name?
I don't know his name, but we all know who we're looking at.
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen this gentleman. I don't know the young lady. I need the chat to step up because his name is like Kurt.
Oh, that's Kurt Russell.
Kurt. Something. Yeah, that sounds right. And then I don't know her.
Is that Bree Olson?
I mean, they didn't give you anything to go off of for the female.
No, his face it consumes this photo. It's entirely Kurt Russell. I can't see.
There's nothing for me to go off of to figure out who she is.
The hair.
That's it. But like, how many famous women have blonde hair and they'll curl it?
But no, like, she's very pensive, very small, narrow shoulders. Probably like 34C.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It's impossible to know the woman.
Know who she is.
That's not fair.
There's no way to figure out.
Throw your best guess of who the girl is in the chat.
Oh, you meant Brie Larson?
Yeah, Brie Olson. I was waiting. I thought you were gonna say something. And you didn't.
It didn't click in my head. I heard
like,
Brie Larson.
It could be her too. She has blonde hair. Kick saving a beauty. It's really not that funny whenever you don't react. Now it just makes you look like a pervert.
I was so zoned in on figuring out I heard Brie Larson.
Or you just talk about Brie Olson all the time. You're like, yeah. That's a Wyatt. Hey, Wyatt is loving this.
Oh my gosh. Emily Blunt?
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Is it? Wow.
It is. That's the body. That's what I was saying.
Brian
Yes.
Burgess,
Nice.
Oh.
Blunt force trauma. Philip Cliff died on impact. Kurt Russell. Lloyd in 30 years in Bonnie Blue. I mean, she's had enough in her. She's basically half man at this point.
All right. NFL.
Yeah.
Since 2010, this NFC South franchise only had one player eclipse 1,000 rushing yards in a season. I mean, it's not the Saints.
No, because you had Mark Ingram and
Kamara.
Yeah. And it's not the Panthers because
they had Cam Newton
and Christian McCaffrey.
And so then
the Bucks.
It could be the Falcons.
It's definitely, yeah.
Since 2010, I'm trying to think of,
Michael Vick was gone.
They've had,
Work Done was gone.
They've had those, they had what were their name? Why can't I think of his name? The running back.
They had the kid that went to Oregon State.
Because then, like, when I think about the Bucks, like, they had a couple of seasons with
Sinners.
Is it the Saints? There's no way. Kamara's never had a 1,000-yard rushing season? Ingram's never had a 1,000-yard rushing season?
Only had one. Okay. Wow.
Really?
I guess they threw it so much. Pierre Thomas, I could see him having like 850, and then the receptions too.
Yeah, I guess Kamara does catch the ball a bunch. Interesting. Was this during Shaq's first year with Miami? The Heat lost in the 2005 Eastern Conference Finals in 7 games to this team. In 2005, who won the? The Spurs won, and did they beat the
This is a fun question.
I believe it was the Spurs, because the Spurs won in 05 and 07.
The Heat won in 06.
I mean, it feels like the Pistons' time, but I don't know if the Pistons were 02, 03. Yeah, Pistons.
Yeah,
that feels right. I'm confident in that. Because the Pistons won before that.
Yeah, I'm confident in that too. I was trying to think. LeBron played and that was 07.
That was 07 when the Spurs won. I knew the Spurs won in 05 and 07, and they beat LeBron in 07.
No.
He should have never been there. Anaheim drafted. Yeah, whatever. I'd wait for the chat. I don't know this. No chance. I'm not kidding. I couldn't even give you a name.
No, I mean, and that's, I don't want to say it's an insult. It's not meant to be an insult to hockey, because hockey is cool and it's fun to watch.
Just don't watch it close enough to know.
I don't watch it at all, but I wish I did.
Oh, I'll turn it on sometimes, but I'm not like trying to identify.
I've no.
It
could be.
Just fight. Just hit.
Yeah, it's a faceless opponent.
Yes.
Nameless opponent.
Bobby Ryan.
Big Bobby Ryan?
Big Bobby Ryan. Cars.
The movie?
Lightning McQueen. From 1990 to 2001, the Diablo was a sports car model produced by this luxury automobile brand. The something Diablo.
The, is it, starts with an M. Somebody in the chat's going to know this. I feel like we've got some car people.
Oh, somebody's going to know it.
Gage.
Sure. I'm trusting in Johnny L. Goodson. I think Johnny
Lamborghini.
The Lambo Diablo. Bow. Snacks
there
and candy. Invented in the early what?
What year 1900s.
1900s by the American Candy Company and now produced by Tootsie. This brand is known for its novelty candy
made to resemble human lips.
What?
Oh, it's Ed Gein candy.
Ew, dude.
What candy am I eating that is supposed to be that?
Chat. I mean, somebody's got to know this.
If you know this, you're on the list.
And you have to admit if you've had it. Who's had the human lip candy?
Answer me!
Who's had the human lip candy? Wacko Wax. I mean, wacko is true. Who's had it? No, I want to admit your guilt in the chat.
Yeah.
Who's had the Wacko Wax human lip candy?
Images.
That's what they used to call Lloyd. That's what they used to call Lloyd in high school.
That's right.
Human lip candy.
No.
Wacko Wax. Ew, dude.
No.
Oh
yeah, I was about to pull up a picture of it.
That's jarring.
It is. It shouldn't have existed. Whoever made this is
Who made this?
Pervert.
Oh my gosh.
I walk around the house with my Wacko Wax on.
I mean, somebody in the chat's had this. Has to have.
How? So is this like a sex thing? You know what I mean? Like you put on. I mean, if you turn it.
Oh my, that's disgusting.
And if you do this.
Stop. Stop. Turn it off.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Television. Based on a horror film series with the same name, this slasher TV series ran on MTV VH1 from 2015 to 2019. Willie Fitzgerald, Keke Palmer, Tyga, and Susie Bacon.
A
slasher TV series based off of a horror film series. Is it just Scream?
That sounds right.
See, look, most of this. Johnny Ogun said disgusting. E-Dub had wax lips as a child.
Did you get what happened?
Y'all ate wax lips? Yeah, it's Scream. I knew it.
Yeah.
We all scream for wax lips. Wacko Wax, human lip.
Wait, what? The funniest thing is that more than one person do this. I've never
heard of this.
Ever.
E-Dub said you kind of wear them, never remember eating them.
What?
Turn them off. Get them off the screen.
You gotta wear them. What does that mean? Oh, it's like a novelty bit. Like you put. Like, I get it. That's just a weird way to say that.
Movies.
You gotta wear them.
You never eat them,
It's like
though.
they just kind of like, well, I guess I ate my lips.
In 2022 alone, Mia Goth had the lead role in horror film X, and the second film, origin story for it's shoot, what is it called? She's the one that has like the bleached eyebrows. She screams because she's in horror movies, and she's got like the scream that everyone can hear. It's like scary, but I don't know what the movie's called. I know
Scream?
X, but there was another one. No.
IX.
There was another movie, and it's called
Pearl.
That's her. Gosh dang it, that was her name in the movie. She was a
Nice.
little country girl named Pearl.
They were flavored.
Why are you leaving me?
I've never seen those.
Actually,
Pearl?
Pearl?
Harbor.
You never heard of? Just when I thought I said all I could say, my chick on the side said she got me on the way. Got one
These
on the way.
are my confessions.
Just when I thought I said all I could say,
Just
my
when I
chick on
thought
the
I
side
said all
said
I
she
could
got
say,
one
man.
on the way.
It's confessions.
There you go.
Part 2. Is it
Confessions,
confessions?
part 2.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. These are my confessions. That song was a banger.
Let me get you a clip of Pearl here.
Calm. No! Why are you leaving me if I didn't do anything wrong? I don't understand. I thought you liked me!
Ah.
Tell me the truth!
See the scream?
Why are you leaving me? What are you saying?
We're gonna get copyrighted for this.
You're scaring
Me,
me,
Pearl.
Yeah, let's see if I can find a scream.
Pearl, go home. You're drunk.
Pearl, get out of here.
I can scream for you.
Oh my
That's a good
god.
scream.
Oh, that
And
is.
I think I have an even better scream than
I don't
the
like
other
this.
scream, and I'll tell you why. It's about positioning. Okay. Good at screaming. I can scream for you.
She does sound.
This is scary.
Do your best scream. Scream right now.
I don't have a good scream.
I get scared and I scream.
You scream? I don't scream when I get scared. I'm like, oh! That's what I mean. I'm not like a.
Ah! Scary?
Yeah, a little bit. You didn't really set it up well.
I was scared.
Good timing. We appreciate everybody joining us here on this Thursday morning. We will be back maybe tomorrow, definitely Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Getting you ready for LSU, Alabama. We'll see y'all then.
Cajun Curveball, she's the type of girl I date, and I hate myself for it.
E-Dub, it's like biting into a candle, so you never
Just go get some E-Dub. Go get some wax lips. I mean, clearly you want it. It's okay. Everybody has their thing. Oh, wrong line.
Dude.
Love y'all.